I was 15 years old. I had spent some time being homeless for some time before that, for about 9 months, and then was kind of living in a temporary situation for a number of months, until which point it became evident that was going to break down, that living arrangement. I assumed I'd be going back on the streets. I kind of expected that. And I was introduced through my school to two people from YFS that explained that they were there to help young people in situations such as myself. I would have been in year 10 at the time, and that really began the journey of getting support in a way in which I didn't know was even available. I didn't know that support existed. I'd spent a couple of years already navigating without that. And these two ladies from YFS sat down, and the biggest thing that stood out to me was they took time to listen and hear my story. And it's probably the first time I'd actually really felt that, where someone was actually saying, tell us, where you've been, tell us your story. They supported me in getting accommodation at a really vulnerable time. I found myself from time to time just calling them to talk something through or to explain a situation I was navigating. And as I reflected back and as I got older, that was me connecting with them, with the case manager that I had, almost kind of saying, hey, this is what's happened in my day today. And so there was this relationship that started to develop. And at that young, vulnerable age, when you don't have those people in your life, that is such it's a strength, and it brings resilience when you know there's someone in your corner. And I felt that with YFS. I didn't always call on it because I didn't always need to, but I knew there was somebody there. At the time I was in survival mode, and I was grateful, but as I've reflected back, I realised how pivotal that was. It was almost like I was at a T intersection in my life, and it could have went one way or the other, and it went in the right direction because I had support that I vitally needed at the time. It's hard when you're in survival mode and maybe you've been knocked back many times, or you haven't got the support you need, and you can almost feel invalidated. My experience is that YFS is an organisation that, one, they care, two, they are mission driven, three, there's people with skills that actually know how to do the work that's required to support people in a situation such as mine. You've got to be willing to trust somebody, and I'm so glad I did in this situation. I remember before I'd engaged with YFS, when I was actually on the streets, and I remember thinking to myself, if I ever get out of this, I want to do something to help other people that are experiencing what I was experiencing at the time. The loneliness that you feel and marginalisation when you are homeless and there's no place for you is something that you will only be able to describe if you've experienced it. And so then taking a step forward a couple of years then to meeting with YFS, it was again the difference between potentially things getting a lot worse. I may have ended up in prison. I don't know what would have happened. No one will really know how tough you're doing it as someone who may be homeless or dealing with domestic violence or financial distress or all of the above. Don't give up. Come in, have the conversation, create enough space just for your story to be heard, and see what will happen and how people will wrap around you. Because for me, it was life-changing. And if it can be life-changing for me, it can be life-changing for you too. When the right people are there with a cause to help, YFS is an organisation that has resources, they have the cause, they have the right people, and you need to walk in the door so you can experience that as well.